Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. Visit rockauto.com and tell them Locked On sent you.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Tuesday, everyone. It's your host, Stacey Gotsoulias. If you're on YouTube, you can see it. If you're listening, hello, how are you? Hope everyone is doing well. Well as you can do while your team is now on a 3-game losing streak after winning 13 in a row. Hopefully the Yankees will right the ship. We'll recap last night's game, preview tonight's game. No Shohei Ohtani, at least not on the pitching mound. So we'll see what's going on there. But, he did contribute last night offensively, of course, because he's one of the best players to ever play the game. He is unbelievable. And God, I wish he was a Yankee. Anyway, before we get into it, you can get Locked On Yankees and all other Locked On podcasts straight to your phone in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Odyssey, Spotify, Stitcher, or anywhere else you get your podcasts. When you get into your car, you can tell your smart device to play podcast Locked On Yankees. You can subscribe on YouTube. We're everywhere. So, last night's game was frustrating. Last night's game was really frustrating. I think I said it yesterday. I wasn't really expecting much from Corey Kluber, but I wasn't expecting him to give up a grand slam. I don't know. And after the game, he said he saw some positive things. He, felt good. And I said that yesterday. I said, as long as he felt good, we were okay. But that was a frustrating loss. The Yankees should have won that game. And we're going to get into something a little later about one of the people who should have been the hero of the game if the Yankees had ended up winning the game. You know who I'm talking about. He hit the ball 471 feet. Oh, no, 471. Wait, no. That was an A-Rod home run in Tropicana Field in 2015. Yes, I do remember that. And it was early in 2015, if I recall correctly. Yeah, it went 471 feet. 457 into the rocks, this person hit the home run. You know who I'm talking about. And we're going to discuss him because he has a pattern to how he's been playing this year. And this month is over after tonight. And there's a possibility that he might not play as well in September. But don't fret. I have good news for you. Before we get into that, let's talk about the game last night because this is what we're here to do. So the Yankees jumped out to a 2-0 lead. Things were looking good. Kluber was looking good. And then he wasn't looking good in the 4th inning. And stuff happens, I guess, but to fall apart that quickly is annoying. He was looking okay and he was shutting them down. He had 6 strikeouts, only walked 2. Of course, the home run he gave up was the grand slam, and that was to Mayfield, whoever the heck that is. No, I'm kidding. Jack Mayfield. I'm joking. Ohtani hit a home run off Heaney, of course, because Heaney always likes to give up home runs. He came in after Kluber. So those two were the main culprits, although Wandy Peralta, gave up what ended up being the winning run in the 8th. That's right, the 8th. Okay, so then, I don't know. But when your team scores 7 runs, you want them to win. And the pitching just wasn't there last night. The offense did everything that they could possibly do. Well, maybe not, but, mostly. The top of the order, LeMahieu had 2 hits, Rizzo had 2 hits, Judge had 2 hits, Stanton had 2 hits. The bottom of the order, which really is Gallo all the way down, except for Andrew Velasquez, he had a hit. But Gallo, Urshela, Sanchez, and Gardner, big fat zeros. And if you're not watching me on YouTube, I actually did that with my hand. So, yeah, it just, it's compounded with the 2 losses in Oakland. And it makes it look worse because they're coming off a 13-game winning streak. Now they're on a 3-game losing streak. And while this is happening, the Rays are winning because they played the Orioles this weekend. You're supposed to beat the Orioles because they're horrible. No offense to anyone in Baltimore, but it's true. And the Red Sox are ravaged with COVID. So the Rays beat them 6-1 last night. And we saw that coming from the Red Sox because they did not meet the 85% threshold, although Kike Hernandez tested positive, but he said he was vaccinated. But I know that there are a few of them on there who aren't. So they might be out longer. But this is my thing about this. I'll just bring this up briefly. Eduardo Rodriguez had COVID last year. It affected his heart. He had a big problem with it, and he was able to come back, but he was sick for a while. And these guys know that. And I don't understand why they wouldn't get vaccinated. I know you get COVID when you're vaccinated, but you don't get it as severely when you're vaccinated. That's the point. Kind of like the flu. Yeah. So I said yesterday I was going to talk about the Rays schedule and the Yankees schedule. We're going to do that tomorrow because tomorrow is the first day of September. We're going to look at the Yankees remaining schedule, the Rays remaining schedule. As I briefly said yesterday, the Rays schedule gets tougher. The Yankees schedule gets easier. So even though the Yankees are a bit behind the Rays right now, there's still enough time for them to catch up to them, and them, meaning the Yankees, catch up to them, the Rays. And it's still a possibility that that last weekend of the year, October 2nd, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, could decide the division. That would be amazing. After everything that the Yankees went through this season and how they played this season, if it came down to that weekend, that would be something. I don't know if my nerves could take it. I don't know if your nerves could take it. Do you think your nerves could take it? I don't know. I've been watching baseball for a really long time, and I still feel like my nerves can't take certain things. I was on a podcast the other day, and they were joking about, what would you do if there was a Yankees-Red Sox wild card game? No, do not want. I do not want that because the Red Sox lead the season series, which means that game would be in Fenway, right? I think that's what it is, even if the Yankees finish ahead of them. Or if they finish tied. Like, what if they finish tied and they have to do something like a tiebreaker like that? Oh, no, let's not even. If you're not watching me, I just pretended to zip my mouth. I don't even want to. I'm bringing everything back. Do not want to put that out into the universe. Don't do that, universe. No. No. I can't even believe I said it. But if you want to bet on something happening like that, you can bet it. You can go it. Can I try that again? I'll try that again. It's Tuesday. Tuesday is the worst day of the week. Don't let anyone tell you that Monday is the worst day of the week. Tuesday is. Okay. It's that time of year again. And all eyes are turning to football as teams are back on the gridiron to start the football season. As always, BetOnline is your number one spot for all the pro and college football action this season. Get all the updated odds, props, and contests, including online's biggest $500,000 NFL mega contest and the world's largest $200,000 NFL Survivor contest. Open now at BetOnline. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today to receive your 100% welcome bonus. That's right. It's not 50% anymore. It's 100% welcome bonus. Be sure to take advantage of their opening day super promo, which means you make a bet on the Thursday, September 9th season opener between your Super Bowl champion Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys. And if you lose, your wager will be refunded up to $25. This is for new customers only when signing up and using promo code NFL100. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. From football, basketball, boxing, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait and take advantage of all the great offers available for the 2021 season. Just use our promo code LOCKEDON. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. So, yeah, if you want to bet on the Yankees and the Red Sox playing some sort of a tiebreaker, whether it's a game 163 or a wild card game, this is the thing. I don't want a game 163 unless it's other teams in that game 163. I'm all about game 163 when other teams are involved. One of my favorite games of all time, still to this day, was that 163 between the Tigers and the Twins in 09, which set up the Yankees beating the Twins in the 09 division series. That was a fun division series, wasn't it? Yeah. And there was a recent 163 in the NL, right? Now I can't remember who played in that game, but the 09 one was just crazy. There was a lot of weird shenanigans happening in the Metrodome. So, yeah, that was one of the last games played there, in fact. So, no, let's not put that into the universe. So the Yankees lose last night 8-7. Corey Kluber, as I said, as long as he's healthy and he feels like things are working, he'll work into things and he'll work up, or he'll build up his strength. That's the phrase I'm looking for. He'll build up his strength. So I'm not that worried about him. I wasn't expecting much out of him last night, but I also wasn't expecting that. No one was expecting that. Everyone was expecting the home run off Heaney because one, it was Heaney. Two, it was Shohei Ohtani. And when Ohtani came up, I was basically thinking, hopefully he doesn't hit it out of the stadium. But Ohtani's amazing. That was his 42nd home run of the season. Unbelievable. But as I said earlier, he's not pitching tonight. Tonight's matchup now is between Jameson Taillon and, is it Jaime Barria or Jamie Barria? I don't want to screw that up, and I feel bad, but it doesn't say. He was born on July 18th, 1996, 3 years exactly before David Cohen's perfect game, just so you know. His last 7 starts, 2-2 with a 3.94 ERA. That is in 7 games. 6 of them are starts, and he's an opener. So he pitched last on the 26th, 3 1/3. Let's see, 1 run on 5 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. So yeah, either he opened the game or he pitched in the middle of the game, because I'm looking on my phone and I don't have, hold on, let me just double check that, because I would like to make sure that I am correct. And I don't know if this says it on here. No, it doesn't. Okay. Baseball Reference, it tells you on the phone app on MLB.com. It does not. And Jameson Taillon looking to rebound from his last start, which wasn't good. 3 2/3 innings, 5 runs on 4 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Yeah, it was ugly. It was ugly against the Rays, the A's. I do that all the time. I mistake the Rays for the A's, but I feel like the A's and the Rays are similar in a way because both teams don't spend money, but they're always there. Although the Rays are a lot better than the A's this year, and they're a lot better than everyone else. So yeah, Taillon looking for his 9th win of the season. He's 8-4 with a 4.18 ERA overall in 127 innings on the nose with 125 strikeouts. His problem the other day in Oakland was that he was working with a big lead. At least that's what he said in his postgame. Working with a big lead, and he was having trouble closing out at bats because there were a couple of bats there that went from 0-2 to 3-2, 0-2 to a hit, and that's like Phil Hughes like. Do you remember when Phil Hughes did well as a starter? 2010. That was the year he did really well. And then he kind of fell apart. And every time you watched a Phil Hughes game, it felt like he always went from 0-2 to 3-2 and either walked someone or gave up a big hit. That's what it felt like Taillon was doing the other day. So hopefully he will snap out of that. So let's discuss Giancarlo Stanton, because we need to talk about this. This man is playing unbelievable baseball. He hit his 25th home run last night. As I said, 457 into the rocks. It was 115.2 off the bat. He knew it. He pimped it. He has every right to do it because he's had one hell of a month. And not only that, even when he's not hitting home runs, he's putting up big hits for the Yankees. If it's a single, if it's a double, he's just doing it all. And yes, he screwed up in the field the other day. But as I said, Oakland, for some reason, it was like a house of horrors the other day. And a lot of players who, not that he's the best outfielder, but it was a strange mistake from him because he turned one way, then went the other way, and it just didn't work right for him. So anyway, he's amazing this month. But so far this season, it's been an every other month thing. So he might slow down in September. He might cool off in September. And I need to let Yankee fans know to not boo him. Don't boo him. He's allowed to have a down month as long as the rest of the team picks him up and it's okay and he's not dragging the team down. But even in that case, don't boo him. No, he doesn't deserve it. And the other thing that works out is if it's an every other month thing, and they make the playoffs and they make it into the playoffs, say they have to play a wild card game and they make it into the division series, we might see a repeat of Giancarlo Stanton from last year in the playoffs, which was fun to watch. So, but you never know. He might keep this hot streak going into September, maybe cool off a little bit, and then heat up again in October. Anyway, he's just, him and Judge really have surprised me this season, mainly because they've played most of the season. You hear that on audio? I'm actually knocking wood. I joked in the beginning of the season, they had us all do bold predictions, and this was my bold prediction. My bold prediction was that Stanton and Judge would play 40 games together. They've surpassed that. So I'm glad that they haven't really been injured. Oh God, here we go again. Knocking on wood again. And they've been contributing and hitting the ball well. They're not having crazy seasons. They're not having 50 home run seasons. You know, Stanton just hit his 25th. Judge is up to 28, I believe. So Stanton's kind of catching up on Judge there a little bit. I like when teammates have home run contests going on because you know in the clubhouse that they have contests between each other. So I'm looking forward to that down the stretch, and hopefully that might motivate them to do a little better. Also, Gary Sanchez said after the game that their ultimate goal is still the division. They're still looking out for the division. And you know what? Why not? As I said, the Yankees schedule gets easier. The Rays schedule gets harder. And all you could do is just play your games, hope that the Rays kind of fall off at some point, but just take care of your own business. And like I said, that series at the end of the month or the beginning of October could be very big. So does this sound familiar? You've got one device that lets you catch the game live, another that lets you stream your favorite shows. You're watching sports highlights on your phone, and you've got your neighbor's best friend's login for the good stuff. Well, I want you to know about a simple way to get all that entertainment you love without the hassle, and a great way to finally get your TV together. It's called Directv Stream, and it brings your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before. So you can watch your favorite sports, movies, and shows all in one place. That means no more juggling remotes and no need to buy another device ever again. And the best part, there's no annual contract. So get rid of the clutter and the confusion and get your TV together with Directv. You can learn more about this at directv.com. That's directv.com. Compatible device required, and content varies by package. But again, it's called Directv Stream. This episode is brought to you by Rock Auto. With the ever-increasing numbers of makes and models, it's now impossible for your local chain auto parts store to stock all the parts you need. So why endure often pointless or seemingly intimidating questioning and then wait while the person behind the counter orders parts for you on their computer, choosing only the brand their warehouse happens to carry? You have computers with rockauto.com at home and in your pocket. You can save time and money when using Rock Auto. Rock Auto is a family business serving do-it-yourselfers for over 20 years. They have everything you could need, from brake parts to tail lamps, motor oil, and even new carpet. You can go explore their easy-to-use website today and find the solution for all your auto parts needs. Go to rockauto.com right now and see all the parts available for your car or truck. Write Locked On in their How Did You Hear About Us box so they know we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. rockauto.com. I don't own a car. I'll tell you that right now. I've never owned a car. I've never had a license. I used to drive with my permit. Then I moved into the city and thought, I'm going to take the subway the rest of my life. Then that didn't happen, but no one wants me on the road. So yeah, go to rockauto.com. Anyway, baseball is getting exciting because we're going into September now. And as I said, the Yankee schedule gets easier. The Rays schedule gets harder. I don't think we have to worry about the Red Sox creeping in. Hopefully not. But as I said, I nearly put that scenario out there, and I really don't want that to happen. I hope they fall off. I think I would rather face the A's in a wild card game because the Yankees won the season series. If they finish close or if they finish tied or if there's some sort of shenanigans going on, the Yankees would host the game. And I would feel a lot better with the Yankees playing the A's in Yankee Stadium like they did a few years back than I would if the Yankees had to face the Red Sox in Fenway in a one-game playoff. That just is scary. It's scary to me. It should be scary to you. Now let's go through more numbers from last night. I told you about how the top of the order basically got things done. As I said, LeMahieu had 2 hits, Rizzo had 2 hits, Judge had 2 hits, Stanton had 2 hits. Now the Yankees overall were 5 for 9 with runners in scoring position. So offensively, they had a great game. It was the pitching. It felt like one of those games before the streak or even before the good run that they went on. This was one of those games. This was one of those June games. It was almost as if this was the game that they should have played against the Angels during the streak when they had to make up the rain delay game, because that original Angels series was when they weren't doing so well in June. And I say it all the time. I was at the game where Chapman gave up the grand slam. What's with Yankee pitchers giving up grand slams to Angels hitters? They need to stop doing that. And speaking of that, let's see. Mayfield was just 1 for 4. That one was a big one. And Ohtani was also 1 for 4 and had 3 strikeouts. So they did okay neutralizing him. But the Angels as a team, the only starter who didn't have a hit was Fletcher. Everyone else had at least 1 hit. And Juan Lagares, he was the pain in the rear end last night. He was 3 for 4, hit a triple off Heaney. Stacey hit a double off Heaney. Yeah, Heaney was a mess, but Heaney is a mess. He's just a body that the Yankees have right now. Rosters open up tomorrow, only to 28 players, in case you still don't know that rule. It's not 40 anymore, it's 28. So it's not like the Yankees can add a bunch of people and play around with the roster. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that. That should be coming out tomorrow, I would assume. I don't think they're going to be doing that tonight. So as I said, Kluber did 4 innings, 5 runs. Heaney did 2 innings, 2 runs. Peralta gave up the 1 run. And Clay Holmes came in, pitched an inning, a clean inning, and gave up 1 hit. Now, Kluber only got to 68 pitches, which is more than I thought he would. I didn't realize that. I thought his pitch limit was going to be lower than that. But as I said, he was cruising for a while, and then the grand slam happened. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like Boone should have had someone up sooner. It felt like he kind of left. I don't know. It was one of those games, again, where you kind of wonder what Boone's doing. Sometimes he has a little too much faith in some of the players, and you're thinking, could you get someone up in the bullpen maybe? And he didn't. And I don't know why he didn't do that. It was very strange. But again, I'm not faulting Kluber. It's his first start back. Stuff happens. It just so happened he gave up a meatball to Jack Mayfield, of all people, who, by the way, I believe, was he batting 9th? 8th. Lagares, the 9th batter, 3 for 4, of course. What did the Yankees? Oh, Velasquez was 9th, wasn't he? And he got a hit at least. He was the only one in that bottom part of the lineup that got a hit. Yeah, but Rizzo's looking better at the plate. Joey Gallo didn't look that great last night, but Rizzo's getting better. Feels like the COVID is finally leaving his system. He's looking a little less sluggish because he was looking sluggish when he first came back. And that's understandable because if you have COVID, depends on how it hits you. Garrett Cole said it was like a flu. Gio Urshela said it was like a bad cold. So it depends on the person, depends on, I guess, the strain. I don't know if Delta hits you different, and it hits you different if you're vaccinated and unvaccinated, because Cole says he was vaccinated. Rizzo is not vaccinated. So I don't know how that works. I hopefully won't get, although I'm vaccinated. So if I do get it, it shouldn't be a severe case of COVID. Hopefully not. So again, tonight, Jameson Taillon, and looking for his 9th win of the season, looking to rebound from that game against Oakland. It's a 9:38 start. Now, tomorrow night's game is 7:07. So 4:07 on the West Coast, 7:07 here, which is so much better. The West Coast games are rough. They used to not be rough 20 years ago. when I was working in the city and much younger. And now I don't know how the players do it. I really don't. And tomorrow is Cole. That's right, against Naughton. So Cole will be looking for his 14th win tomorrow, but I'll have more about that on tomorrow's show. So let's recap. The Yankees are on a 3-game losing streak. They need to snap out of that at some point soon because they can't fall too far behind the Rays. They need to win tonight because I don't envision the Rays losing to the Red Sox at all this week. They're playing a 3-game, I believe it's a 3-game series. And I don't envision that happening at all. Let me just double check and make sure that it's a 3. Is it a 3? There's 3. Oh, it's a 4-game series between them. They're playing on Thursday as well. Interesting. Okay. So, we need the Red Sox to do something just to help the Yankees. That would be great. Could you guys do that? I don't know. I think I'm asking for too much. So, as I said, the Yankees need to take care of business, worry about their own games, not scoreboard watch, because if they do, they're just going to get frustrated because the Rays never lose. The Rays just don't lose. So that's it for this episode of Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'd like to remind you that you can subscribe and listen to the show in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Odyssey, Spotify, Stitcher, or anywhere else you get your podcasts. And when you get into your car, you can tell your smart device to play podcast Locked On Bets. Betting on the Yankees doesn't have to be a guessing game if you listen to the new Locked On Bets podcast hosted by your boy Q and handicapping expert Lee Sterling. Get daily picks, blowout specials, wrong team favorite picks, and Lee Sterling's lock of the day. Follow the Locked On Bets podcast brought to you by betonline.ag wherever you get podcasts. One more thing, if you could be so kind, please rate the podcast and spread the word about this podcast to your fellow Yankee fans. We would really appreciate it. Actually, that's a lie. One more thing, subscribe to us on YouTube. We would really appreciate it. So enjoy your Tuesday, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.